we'll talk about the stuff you do want to talk about. You went to the footy game last night, but it was a massive round for the AFL with the Spud match. And some people wouldn't know who Danny Frawley is, but I was lucky to spend, I think, a year and a half with him at St Kilda Football Club. And that, I remember, if you knew Spud, this grand character who you had no idea like what might have been going on under the surface, such a beautiful person. And when he's passing, it really rocked me, and especially the findings afterwards about CTE. But last night they had the awareness match for mental health. Can you talk a little bit about your bond with Spud and, you know, everything you went through there?
Yeah, well, first, you know, I loved Spud, or Danny Frawley, as the captain of my football team.
Yeah.
You know, he was just the most courageous, strong, powerful defender who played in an era where the game was super, super tough. And he was just a leader amongst men. And then in his football career life, he was this fantastic commentator and media personality who was the most gregarious, funny, life of the party, huge personality, just make you laugh. Just so funny.
He'd bring down the house of 40 players in a team meeting every time he opened his mouth.
And now we have this fantastic legacy, unfortunately, after his passing, called Spud's Match, where once a year the AFL puts this round aside to create awareness around mental health, particularly the St Kilda game. And last night we played a home game at the MCG in front of 65,000 people against the Blues, which we unfortunately lost. But yeah, that was a really, really special night, and a legacy of his wonderful family, and Chelsea, who's the voice of the Danny Frawley Centre down at our home ground at RSEO Park, and they've now combined with the Black Dog Institute to create infrastructure there for people with mental health issues and problems. So I'm really proud of what the club's doing in that space. It's walking the walk, and it's trying to work out how to improve it every year, which is fantastic. It's not just like they started something and they're resting on their laurels. And Danny would be just beside. He would have had his chest pumped.
You reckon? Yeah.
Night. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you, as obviously a good friend of Danny's, like, think about taking on that legacy? And, you know, when you see, I think I sit back and I see, you know, another AFL player took his life probably 2 months ago, and it makes me incredibly sad. And I just look around and I feel like there's so much of that going on in the world right now, and so much people don't understand who they really are and are struggling, and I think it's really hard to watch. Do you think about that in terms of dragging on that legacy from Danny and like helping people in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Danny was a mate. You know, we used to cycle together and text each other all the time during games, and he just always make me laugh. And I think about, you know, the last time I saw him, you know, he seemed to me to be in such a great place, and it always confused me, you know, and always made me wonder about people who really, really struggle. You know, how much masking is involved, or are you literally having a great time and then you have a really dark time very soon after? And I just know that from the last 5 or 6 years of his legacy, you know, the message has always just been, you know, to reach out and to connect, and we know many examples that literally can save lives. Yeah. Maybe the time that you reach out and connect is when someone's coming down, or they're at their worst, or they're on their way to their worst, and that connection can really help. And I'm sure you've felt that in your journey. So I think that's a really great practical bit of messaging that comes out of the round.